Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for a CD collection video, and this is for CD collection video 6. I'm returning to you for. I was mumbling a little, I'm sorry about that. But I'm gonna discuss what CDs I'm gonna be talking about and let you know what my favorite songs are on them. So let's start with the self-titled album by Godsmack. Now, as you can see, this was probably my favorite album from them. Their debut album was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's a favorite. There are some songs that aren't so well done, but uh, pretty much I think when it gets close to the end of the album, it starts to sound the same with some of the songs, but nothing too bad. I like Whatever. That was a really good one. Moon Baby was a great one. Keep Away was pretty good. Uh, I guess Voodoo was the last good one. Situation was another good one as well. But yeah, that's uh, all I'm gonna talk about for this album. Godsmack's self-titled album I talked about. Now the second album I'm gonna talk about is Godsmack Awake. Now I know it's got a little crack on the screen, or a couple cracks. It's been in my CD case for a little while, and you can see the track list on the end of it. But yeah, this was a even pretty cool album. Wasn't the best, but I'd give it like an 8 out of 10 or something. It's good. Um, Vampires was a not a bad track. Spiral was pretty good. Greed was. I have to listen to this album again, which I do plan on listening to it when I collect the other two Godsmack albums, which are The Oracle and 1,000 Horsepower. Because I used to have 1,000 Horsepower. I just sold it just to get money for it. It was silly of me that I did that. And this is the CD for it, for Awake. I keep my CDs mostly in good condition. Some of them are, I think a certain percentage of my CDs are kind of have scratches. Um, there's one that has multiple scratches, but it still works. But yeah, the album I talked about, Sick of Life, was another good one. And Awake was a pretty awesome track. So yeah, the album I talked about was Godsmack's Awake. Now the third album I'm going to talk about is Godsmack Faceless. I got like 5 Godsmack albums. This album was really good, as you can see the back of the cover for it. Straight Outta Line was my favorite for sure. This is probably my favorite Godsmack album because it has the single I Stand Alone in it. Sure, some of the songs almost have the same melody. I know it's trying to change it up, but I didn't hate this record. It did pretty good. There were some sound waves in the album that kind of sounded similar. And I don't think it's a big problem because I know they really jammed out with this album and really put out a very good record. It is a little overrated, but or underrated. It just depends on the listener if they liked it or not. But I enjoyed Straight Out of Line, Make Me Believe, I Fucking Hate You, Releasing the Demons, Dead and Broken, I Am was a favorite, and Serenity was a great one. So was I Stand Alone. And Faceless was a pretty good one too. Pretty much almost all of them were great. There were a few tracks I wasn't crazy about, but I enjoyed this record from start to finish. So, yeah, the third album I talked about was Godsmack's Faceless album. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is Godsmack 4 album. Now this one, I did review it, and I did get it from a place called Momox. They're out in Germany or whatever. But they gave they did a pretty good job at shipping my item. I'm still waiting on the the Grimes Misanthropocene album. So it's gonna take a little bit to get here, because I've waited since it shipped on March 16th. So it's probably gonna get here by the tomorrow or the next day. But the songs I enjoyed on here was Hollow. Speak was a pretty good one. There's a second Voodoo to this album. One Rainy Day was another good one. But everything else was just... Oh, Living in Sin is another good one as well. But everything else on the record is just kind of boring. So it wasn't their best record, but it was a solid one. So the fourth album I talked about was Godsmack 4. Sorry to pause the video like that. One of my cats, or one of the cats that lives in my house, wanted out. My sister's cat. But yeah, to continue where I left off, the fifth album I'm going to talk about is Korn Untitled, or Korn 2 is what you call it. And yeah, I thought this was a solid record. I did rate it a 7.5 out of 10 when I reviewed this album. But yeah, sorry, you could see the reflection from my glasses for the TV mostly that I have if you really look closely. So I had to take them off. Starting Over was a good one. Evolution was a favorite. I Will Protect You was a solid one. It was a solid way to end the album. But everything else on it was mediocre. But I bought the album just because it's part of the Korn collection, so gotta support my bands that I like. I'm only talking about 2 bands in this CD collection, which are Godsmack and Korn. But Hushabye was a solid one, and Killing was... I liked the scream at the end of it, which was pretty good. That's the back of the CD, if you see it. And inside it... Hold on one second. That's what you get when you look at the inside of it. But yeah, I do take care of most of my CDs. But I keep them stored away for a while in my CD case. Which I think you saw it in my first video I did. Or second video. But yeah, that's it for the fifth album I talked about. Korn 2. Or known as the Untitled album. And there's only like 13 tracks on it, so it doesn't have the extra track with it. But get what you get. Now the next album I'm going to talk about is Korn 3, Remember Who You Are. This one was actually a good record. It did a little better than the last one, which was Korn 2, or Korn Untitled. I enjoyed Oildale, Leave Me Alone. This record went really hard with its riffs and its melodies and drum work. It really stood out from every one of the albums, but it had its own originality. And that's what I liked about Korn. It tried something different. They went with a heavier side like they did. Much heavier than anything you've ever heard. But they pulled it off. They did a great job. I enjoyed, wasn't the best album, but it was a good album. Let the Guilt Go was a good one. Are You Ready to Live was pretty good. The Past was good. Pop a Pill, which I like where he's like, look at this. or whatever. I see clearly now. It gets catchy, but Fear is a Place to Live was the chorus where he's like, rip off that mask from your head. And where he made that weird from your head thing, it was so weird how he was singing it. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like Jonathan Davis. But yeah, the sixth album I talked about was Korn 3, Remember Who You Are. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about, and I know this gets mixed reviews, is their dubstep album, Path of Totality. I only got the regular edition, I don't have the deluxe. I just wanted the regular, because the deluxe was fine with the extra songs. But I thought this was pretty good. I just like went crazy with this album when I was dancing around with Get Up, because that was good. Narcissistic Cannibal was another good one. Let's Go was pretty good. Way Too Far I enjoyed. Chaos Lives in Everything was pretty good. I think when you get up to Narcissistic Cannibal, you get so excited for what they're going to deliver. And I know it's a dubstep album, and I know it's got like mixed reviews, but I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. And they do stick with their dubstep roots for some of the next album I'm going to talk about. But my favorite songs were Chaos Lives in Everything, Narcissistic Cannibal, Let's Go, Get Up, Way Too Far, and Bleeding Out. So that was Korn, Path of Totality that I talked about. Now the last one I'm going to talk about to close this video is Korn, The Paradigm Shift. Yeah, I got a lot of Korn albums. I got like 9, I think. I didn't get to explain one of them, but I showed you a couple of my collection for Korn. But it's a deluxe edition, so it's the World Tour edition I got, and yeah, I paid like $10 for this album, which I think it was worth it. Pray For Me was a good one. I love the song Love and Meth, and Spike in My Veins was a very good song. It got a little political with some things they were trying to say about what's going on in the world and why they don't like this stuff. Hater was a solid song, but I thought it was weird. I like the extra tracks that they deliver with. Tell Me What You Want was a pretty good one. Never Never was great, but I hands down love Victimized. That was a great song. Paranoid and Aroused was pretty good too, but Victimize and Spike in My Veins are my favorites off this album. And yeah, I talked about Korn, Paradigm Shift World Tour Edition. Sorry if I said the wrong thing, but that's going to be it for this CD collection. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of my CD collection video 6 if you liked it. And if you like this video, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I will be returning to you for the album reviews. Might do one today. I don't know for sure. I may wait till tomorrow to review Dua Lipa's album, because I gotta listen to these albums again and then judge on what I'm gonna rate it. Which I already rated some of them. I'm waiting for 5 Seconds of Summer's new album to get released on Kingdom Leaks, which it should be tomorrow morning. I'd have to look and see if it's gonna come out then. But that's a good website to go to if you want to get your music a little early. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely stay safe out there, because I know this coronavirus is getting bad every day. And you can look at the CDC reports about what's going to happen and all that, and what actions they're going to take to prevent people or get the cure for this virus. But thank you for watching this video again. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry that it's very long, longer than the last CD collection video I made, but I'll definitely see you in my next video.